Did we start yet?
Yeah.
We're trying.
We're rolling.
Country roads.
Once again, let me help you with your words.
Okay, thank you.
Omnidirectional.
No, I can say it.
I didn't,
But I
didn't
just
seem
did-
like it.
Omnidirectional.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't know what it meant because I was giving our guests instructions about being the mics are omnidirectional, and that's not true at all.
No.
They're the opposite of omnidirectional. And what word would that? They would be directional.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or
That's so boring.
shotgun. But they're not shotgun. Shotgun mics. They're checked out. But these are like very close. I can't remember. Condenser mic maybe? Or, I'm not an audio person.
I am not either. Anyways, welcome to the short of it.
Welcome.
I'm Tony,
Rochelle.
and we are your co-hosts for this next, I don't know how long,
Next.
the next several minutes, the next
24.
But yeah, you know, we love to invite people on to talk about their films, filmmaking, and, you know, get down to the short of it.
Yeah. That's it. The short of it.
That's right.
Right.
The short of it.
Yeah.
We should get a theme song.
I know.
I mean, we have theme
Short,
music.
short.
I got a guy for you.
Oh, okay.
Just keeping it real.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get a theme song for next season. We'll have a theme
That would
song.
be cool. Yeah.
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 Should we appear in like the song? Well, we wouldn't appear. Should our voices
No.
be part of? No,
I can't sing. I mean, you can.
I can't sing.
I'm just.
Oh, you
thinking
can rap though.
If you can.
Wanna talk about that? What's up?
No.
Is there a video somewhere?
We're not gonna
Anyways, introducing our guest, Dave Gambone. Do not call him Gambone. He will flip
He
your
gets
lid.
So mad.
He gets so
And
angry.
yet, it's sort of logical. Gambone is Italian, and it kind of looks like it could be Gambone when you see it, right?
So you prefer Greg?
His name is Dave. Yes.
I do prefer Greg. He's very nice. He's gentle.
Oh, good.
No, you good.
No, you're good. You're good.
Anyway,
I don't make that big of a deal out. Man, I'm sitting over here trying to tell y'all I'm trying to get out of being typecast as the angry dude. You know, he gets so mad, bro. This guy over here, he gets so mad about his name.
Truth.
Bro, my whole life people have been pronouncing it's Gambone. If you're going to say it in an Italian accent, then it's Gambone. Okay? It's not Gamboni. There's no I on it. It's an E.
That's what I'm
It's,
thinking.
it's
an E.
Americanized.
see,
And
I
then
know. I mean, yeah.
but it's not
proven.
it's not anybody's fault, all right? Because well, actually it is somebody's fault cuz I met a plumber a couple years ago and his last name was Pavone. And I'm like, "Hey, he's like, "Yeah, I'm Pavoni." It's you. Yeah, so I've been dealing with that my whole life. So I try to make it simplified for people, you know. I usually tell people like, "No, it's Gambone, like bones." So a lot of my names and stuff, I usually just say Bones because it's easier than me having that conversation with people, especially like live on the air, you know.
like we are now.
Yeah. Yeah, but I would hate to like have to, you know, like I never want to be that guy live on like a radio station, like it's Gambone. Like, ooh, like listen, I used to get yelled at for a living, so I've been called way worse things. Like I'm really not that offended by it, but it's just one of them little things. Like it's an E, bro.
Yeah,
It's an E.
yeah. Not an I, not a Y. It's an
Yeah.
E.
But I've been called way worse, so it's fine.
All right.
It's fine. You can call me whatever you want.
Well, Dave Gambone, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I like
Thank
being
you
here.
for thank you for being a part of it.
I'm grateful that people like you are doing things like this for people like us.
All right, I like that.
Yeah,
we need to make that into a promo.
Should be
Hey,
a slogan or something.
Like you.
I'm
Things
a
like this
promo
for
machine.
people
I
like
got
us.
you.
I'll remember that.
Okay.
Put
Well,
my
you
marketing
just
brand
said it.
Yeah.
So we can just use that.
I forgot we could clip it.
sound bite.
Yeah. V's not on his game today.
Not at all.
No. You got to get on the game.
I gotta get on the ball.
Anyways, so Dave, and you know, I always feel like I have to like announce my film because that's kind of like how I got to know Dave is when he became a really integral character in Do You Remember Me? And not a character that people liked at all.
Yeah.
But it was great. You'll have to watch the movie to see what I'm talking about. You won't be able to miss him.
Live
Nikki Collins, right?
Live and in action.
Yeah.
And that's not even like your first go-to
Use your words, sweetheart.
Yes, her name's
passion
Nikki.
is acting. But gosh, can you do it well?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, actually, so acting is actually where I got my start. That's what started me into, I mean, like
Did you hear me?
filmmaking. Like me and my cousins found a camcorder when I was 6 and did all kinds of dumb stuff in the wood. You know, like, oh, this will be cool. You know, but now I don't call that acting. But I started out acting. I always knew that I enjoyed acting and I wanted to. I was never part of like clubs or any of that stuff. But in high school, I did become part of like the film group, and they would force us to be as part of this group to run the school news, you know. But then they'd give us the cameras after hours, so I just do that to go take that. And, you know, I still have some of those old creative projects and stuff too, which is cool to look out on, like look back where we started, you know. But I really wanted to get into acting, and so I was at a point in my life. This is back in 2012. I was out of high school. I had done a year of college and absolutely despised it. I hated everything about academia. Not much has changed. Despite what you might hear about me. I don't love it, but I do it because it's a means to where I'm trying to go. But I was at a precipice in my life where I was like, you know, I really want to do this, and so I really wanted to try. And so I went to a Pro Scout. Pro Scout, they're one of those agencies that comes around every couple of years to Boston, all these places, and they do tryouts and talent tryouts and stuff for people, and you can do a monologue and do all these things and whatever. And you know, I'm one of those people that, like, if I set my mind on something, I'm just gonna jump in. Like I don't know how to talk to agents. I'd never done a monologue before, and so as you know, 2012, they're like, oh, you're gonna do a 30-second monologue, and we're gonna cut you off at 30 seconds, so make sure it's tight. And I'm like, this is like the day before. And I'm like, everybody else has a prepared monologue. And I'm like, well, I better go get to writing. And so I actually wrote my own monologue, and everybody was afraid to, like, you know, speak. And you got all these, like, there was probably 16 different girls. There's probably 250 talent people that are up there trying to, you know, be actors and pursue their dreams, and all the power to them. But there's like probably 16 females up there that all did the exact same easy breezy cover girl ad monologue. Like the amount that I can recite that ad because I heard it so many times. I'm like, what are y'all doing? And like, that was one of the things for me that I've always appreciated about filmmaking, is having your own voice and telling your own story. And like, I just love storytelling in general of all kinds. And I love the creative writing process. I like the challenges of it. So I'm not really afraid to try to delve into new aspects of creative writing. But the thing for me was, I wanted to be able to show what I could do, because I knew I could act. I've always been able to act because I felt like I was a kind of troublesome kid growing up. So I did a lot of acting. I feel like everybody should take an acting class in their life because it's beneficial. You know, like, no, officer. You know, like everybody should try at least once. You know what I mean? Like, it should help. But I had a couple opportunities, so I did that. I was the last one to go at Pro, and it was because like all these other kids and stuff at the Pro Scout thing were like, I'm gonna go first, whatever. It's like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do my best. And I went up there. I killed it. I didn't stutter. I didn't stammer. I did nothing in time, whatever. And I got 5 callbacks from different agencies.
It's awesome.
And my mom and my girlfriend at the time, my wife, they all came. Like, everybody stayed in Boston. They're all asking me about it. They didn't get tickets to the event, but, you know, it was like a whole big thing. And I'm really appreciative of my family always supporting me in what I want to do. And I had those conversations with these agencies and stuff, and they're all like, so when can you move to LA? And I was like, well, I guess whenever, but like, I don't really want to go to LA right now. And like, well, let us know. We'll give you a tryout. We'll figure it out. You can do like actors boot camp and all this other stuff. And so there's a shout out Chambers Stevens. He does run actors boot camp. He's still out there, and he's a big time actor. He worked with Pro Scout. That's how I met him. And so my cousins lived in Huntington Beach. And so I went out there for 2 weeks and stayed there. And I went to this actors boot camp, and I loved being able to interact with other actors that were on the come up and passionate as me and whatever else. I absolutely despise the business of acting and what it's become for the creatives now, and how bottlenecked it is, and how many people would be willing to just stomp on your entire existence, throw you under a bus, and set you on fire just to possibly sniff a different role. Like, it's so ridiculously cutthroat, and like everybody treats you like a number. I was like, I didn't like it. It felt fake. It felt disingenuous. I met a lot of nice people. It was, I think it was very good for understanding that. But that right then and there told me that I want to be in control of my own destiny. There's a lot of people out there that when you start out in film and acting and all this stuff, like, oh, well, you have to go do this, and you have to go do this, and you have to. F that. Straight up and down. F that. Like, I really didn't like the fact that, cause I'm kind of I'm a strong personality, whatever. Everybody tells I look like a cop or an a-hole or whatever. And I can play those roles. I can. And I can play any role, but I made the decision after that experience. I wanted to find like a mentor or something, and I couldn't find that locally. So I started doing research on people, like different actors and things, and like, how did other people navigate this? Because it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel organic. It didn't feel like I belonged there. I felt like a fish out of water, and like, I'm not as like cold-hearted and mean as these. I'm not miserable. Like, I'm here because I love this, and I want to put 100% of myself into this. Yeah. But I want to make sure it's conducive for me too, and I'm not just gonna give my like. Everybody can find be like, oh, you fit in this box. Look, like, I don't give a shit about your box. I don't want to fit in your box. I don't care, what you think. I wanted to be very, I wanted to stand up for myself in that way. And so doing research, I found that, Heath Ledger was extremely selective in the roles that he took, and he turned down a lot of roles. And there's not a lot of people that do that because roles mean paychecks, and paychecks mean, your livelihood, fame, whatever. And it's so, I think it's so sad that so many people are kind of pigeonholed into that to have to do. I mean, it's like spoken in the industry too, like, oh yeah, they're doing that films because they got to keep their health insurance and they got to do that. It's like, yeah, it's a rough film, but their performance was, it's like, I just disagree with the whole business aspect of how Hollywood's been run in the last few years. And I think we're seeing that right now. There's so many agencies that are just shutting down. Their debt is gone. Like, they're closing out. Editors have no work right now. And we're seeing this bubble pop from all these passionate people that have the drive and want to be in filmmaking and around filmmaking, but now the parameters are closed off because they got greedy with the business model. And like, I felt that years ago, and I'm not saying like I told you so, but like, I'm just grateful, even the small time things that I've been able to do now, the fact that I can do them on my own. And I don't mean on my own because I have a team and I have people that I work with and hire, and I'm grateful that people are even willing to work with me. But I just think that it's so important to be able to have a project and have, at whatever scale you want, but have it representative of you and your art form, regardless of if it's polished to your technique. It's never going to be perfect, right? And so I'm a big supporter of independent films, independent filmmakers, and kind of sticking it to the man and not letting anybody put you in a box. I don't want to be, you can put me in a box, but I better not be breathing, Like, that's how I look at it. I think I'm a firm believer the only three things that separate any one of us is circumstances, opportunities, and choices. At the end of the day, we're all human. At the end of the day, we're all trying to figure it out. Nobody has any idea what we're doing here. And we can all point to a different book to say we know the way, but somebody else wrote that mofo. So nobody really knows, and I think that's a beautiful thing to kind of set in and explore, especially as a filmmaker, because it's like, old cliche, the world is your oyster. It's like, well, you can literally step out there if you get the equipment or know the people or network. That's right. And start filmmaking, and I feel like a lot of us kind of start out that way.
You're also an incredible writer.
Thank you.
I mean, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, very much so.
Thank you so much.
We had the opportunity to be in a class together. Shout out FSU. I feel like we shout out FSU a lot. They should be giving us money.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying? So
Perseverantia crossover.
Yeah. You made the joke before I could.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry. That episode will be out in a decade. Oh, wait. Too soon. All right. And we're back. That's what we say on my podcast all the time. And we're back when stuff gets awkward. It's just a classic cut to line, man.
But Help me out, Rochelle.
I love writing. I really do. I've always loved writing.
Yeah.
Is there? I'm just as a. I'm curious. Like, is there something that stands out to you about my writing, or like
I feel every character in your story. I
Yeah.
feel them. Like it's like I know that person, or
Yeah.
I want to know that person, or I feel compelled to feel what that character is feeling. You really have an exceptional way of bringing these people to life that are attainable. And that's a gift because you know, and Rochelle was our professor for that class, you know, and you had just like nothing but extraordinary things to say about it.
Yeah, it was good.
It was good. Like
Yeah,
we
it was
kept
like-
wanting more.
Yeah,
Really?
it was like, yeah, hooked. Yeah.
dang? So that means y'all read episode 3, right? Oh, this is awkward now. Oh, what's up? How long has that been sitting in y'all's email, huh? Oh, and we're back. All right, I'm just playing. I know. Hey, listen, it was like a 58-page script. Like, you didn't read it? No, but I really do enjoy creative writing. I've always, I guess that's where I got my start because I started writing short stories when I was pretty young. I want to say I was like 8 when I first started. I remember, fighting for time on the family computer. What date is it? No. And so when I write a story, I love the creative opportunity to write because if somebody gives me an idea, I paint the picture in my head. And it's not Joey sitting on a couch in his apartment. It's like, okay, well, the apartment wallpaper has that nasty red flowering on it.
Yep.
And the couch is orange. The end table has an ashtray with a half-lit cigarette in it. There's a half-drank beer on. You know what I mean? Like, I start building the set in my head. And then because I can see it, well, now I can be like, oh, well, what's that half-empty beer smell like? Because it's a day old. Oh, well, that's verbiage you can add to paint the picture for your reader, and really put them in that room. That's what I like to do is to put readers and stuff in that room and try to make you feel exactly like what you said, that you can connect with those, because I think at the end of the day, as creatives, we want to connect with other humans. Like that's what we're celebrating. We're celebrating the beauty of connection through creativity, through filmmaking. And that passion for me, it's just never going to die.
So talk about some of the films that you have done already.
So my first official film was an independent film called Pacemaker. Funding got jammed up. I had a lead role in that and it fell apart. And so to my knowledge, it's never been released. Shout out Dan Torado. I don't know if he's still around here, whatever. I think he went to FSU. Anyway, I have no idea what happened with all that. And then, I was at the point in my life where I was, self-supporting, all the way after high school and everything. And, I hated college. I did a year of criminal justice and just absolutely hated it, and everybody my whole life. And that's why I like, oh, you look like a cop. Like, yeah, I bought into that for a year and hated it. Yeah. Like, I'm not going back to that. And so, but I got to a point where it's like, well, stuff was getting serious with my girlfriend at the time. And like, I'm a pizza delivery boy. And it's like, I'm gonna go try this acting thing, but it's not jiving with me right now. Like the passion's there, but I don't think this is the route for me. I don't feel that. And so after that whole acting camp there, I turned down the agency stuff because they all wanted me to move out there. And I'm like, I'm just not prepared to move out here. I'm just not there yet. And a lot of people, like all the agents, you could tell they were like, it was like ex-girlfriend type energy. You're like, oh, wow, you'll be back. Like, I don't think I'm going to be, bro. You still holding your breath?
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, it was like, I don't know. It's not like an ego thing, but it's like, I take offense to people who help themselves to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you're going to help yourself to what I do? Like, oh, you'd be great in my film. You know how many times I hear that? And it's not, and I don't say that like, oh, because I'm great. That's not it at all. It's the fact that you can see me doing it. That doesn't mean I want to do that. That doesn't mean that fits me. And so at this point in my career, I'm like, very selective. I won't take any role. But obviously, if my friend's going to reach out to me and be like, hey, I need you and you got to play a jerk. Got you. Like, too easy. And especially because of that story specifically, I'm going to tell you right now, Tony, in front of God and everybody, live on the air, if it wasn't you, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have done it. You know what I mean? Like, I would have, and that's why I called you on the phone. I told you on the phone, like, hey, listen, whatever you need from me, like, don't pay me, don't nothing. I'm going to show up. I'm going to do whatever I can for you. And I'm not saying like I don't do that often for people because I like to reserve that for projects that I do believe in, that I do want to see get somewhere.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But so after all the acting stuff, I was at this part and like, where do I go? I'm not making money. I want to go acting, but I can't. I had an opportunity. Adam Sandler started filming Grown Ups 2 in Marblehead. So I'm in Grown Ups 2 as an extra in the background at where they filmed the high school portion at Marblehead. If you can find the scene, I'm wearing it, and I got the pictures. I'll give it to y'all, and y'all can put it up for reference. I had a beard back then too. They made me shave it, so I only had and I had like sideburns, like down to here. Dude. I'm like, dude, they give me this bright yellow golf shirt that I swear to God is like a 4XL. And so, it was like the weirdest experience. It was cool because it was like, oh, you're gonna get paid to be an extra. So essentially, I got paid $250 to stand around for 10 hours on a set in Marblehead, and catering came through and went. I met Peter Dante. Yes, he still smells like weed. Sorry, Dante. Yo, it's true, bro. And then I actually met Nick Swartzen, but it was not it was not ideal. So they're filming at this school, right? They bring us all in there, and like it's like herding cats, man. Like nobody knows each other. We're all just kind of congregated. Like they promised us a check, and so they send us downstairs, and they're like, "Oh, see Tina, she's the wardrobe lady." Whatever. Like, all right, like go down there, and she's like, "Go in there," and you go in, and this lady hands me this like 4X too big shirt, and go in there and change. Like, all right, and like it's a basement, and there was like a circle staircase in this school. And there was a closet under the staircase, and you go in there, and it looked like something straight out of like Salvation Army. Like there's just old retro clothes everywhere, and there's like nobody else was in there changing. So I go in there, like take my shirt off, and I'm shirtless standing there, and the two double doors just rip open on the other side of the wall, and it's Nick Swartzen, and I'm like, hello. And he looks up at me, and he's like, where the fuck are the sandwiches? And I was like, yo, I wasn't starstruck. It was just awkward. It was like, and he goes, this sucks. And he slams the door in my face. I was like, what just happened? Like, what? And then I go outside with this ugly yellow shirt on, and I see him. He's with these girls taking pictures, all happy. We're like, what's that, dude? Like, slam a door in my face, and I have a peanut butter and jelly in my back pocket. My bad, dude. Like, but it was a cool experience. And so I was in that scene. The scene is the high school's in the hallway. There's unfortunately the actor from that film passed away. He was really young too. But it's a scene with him in the hallway, and there's a big bully character with a big camo jacket. I don't know if you've seen the movie, but he comes down and he's like, statue, you look like an ass too. And like, that doesn't even make sense. And I'm right in the background right there, a big yellow shirt. So that was my first intro into act, was Grown Ups 2 there. And then after that, I was like, yeah, that was cool. It was a cool experience, but I'm not going to make my bills getting paid $250 a gig for 10 hours a day.
Yeah.
So I went in the Army. Me and my best friend signed up, and I was like, listen, I want to be able to provide for my family and do what I want to do, but I'm okay with investing in myself right now while I don't know what's going on to at least do something that's going to help me in the future. And that's what I did. And so, I did that for 5.5 years. So I left in January 2013, and I got medically retired from the Army in 2018 after fracturing my neck in a training incident. And when I got out, I knew that I wanted to get into film, and I wanted to pursue all my passion projects and stuff, but I had a lot of stuff to unpack from my military career that I did not necessarily take seriously at the time, that I didn't give myself credit for. I never deployed anywhere, but I do have some PTSD related things from some incidents that I experienced in the military. We don't got to get into all that. But I'm finally like recognizing like, hey, this stuff was not good for you, and it's okay to talk about and not feel good about, and so, but it's helped me because, now I'm using my GI Bill to go to Fitchburg State as a triple major to be able to finish my degree and then start my own production company and do exactly what I've been planning to do for the last 10 years.
I see a lot of that experience portrayed in your work, whether it's your writing, and you are an amazing singer as well. And we're gonna play a clip of your song in a minute, but you even put that into your video, your music video. And so, using something that is so kind of traumatic for you and bringing that through creatively, how hard or good is that for you?
I don't necessarily think it's hard. Obviously things are difficult, and I'm not saying like, oh, it's easy. Nothing's easy. I think when you simplify things into steps, it makes it digestible. So I don't think it's necessarily difficult to kind of submerge myself in those projects. I love storytelling, and honestly, my favorite form of media ever is music videos. And it's because growing up, VH1, MTV, when it was really MTV, watching all the music videos and stuff, and the stories, you're telling a story, but that's coupled with a beautiful song.
Yes.
And music has always really moved me. Thank you for saying I'm a good singer. I took vocal lessons and stuff. I've had the ability to sing since I was, I want to say, first grade. But I was the tough kid in school, so I was always I don't sing. I always had the ability though, and now
be a rock star. I could so see you wanting to be a rock star.
No, I mean I never and even my wife now even calls me a rock star, and I'm I don't feel that. I feel like so much of society now is so reliant on titles. And I'm not a big title person. I title all my different projects individually with different titles, but that's honestly just to keep it compartmentalized in my own brain. I do a lot of stuff, and I just feel like I'm going to go way off topic. So be sure to keep me between the navigational beacons. But, I started writing country music back in probably 2010. I wrote my first song with a friend of mine, and I didn't write my own first song until 2015 before I could ever even play guitar. I was sitting in a truck over in Hawaii, and I had this song stuck in my head. I'm that's a good song. And I remember singing it the whole time I'm out there. And when you're out in the field, you can't have technology, you can't have your phone, whatever. And I remember getting back out of the field and looking up the lyrics for that, and it doesn't exist. I'm but I can hear it so vividly. And it's oh, I need to write this down. And it started that way for me. And so She Wouldn't Go was my first release. And I'm big on music video and storytelling, but I'm not big on lip syncing into a camera. That has got to be the most cringy thing that is so popular right now. Hey, let's go get the studio version of this song and then go get a picture of me in the woods singing it. But I'll be lip syncing in perfect pitch and heart. You people make me sick. It's disgusting. Just be yourself, dude. Either play the live version or play the studio version. But stop trying to fool us.
Yeah.
Because all us film people see right through it, and it just seems disingenuous and crappy. Stop it. Sorry. All right, rant over. Thank you.
Wow, Peggy.
Let's go. Let's go.
Certified.
That's how you know it's a good take.
Yeah, and that was something I've always I appreciate different artists. I appreciate NF. NF has done some storytelling stuff with his music where it's not, him singing. It's I live by the old adage that my grandmother told me, because when I went to basic, she's listen, if somebody takes the time to write you a letter, you better take the time to write them a letter back, right? If I'm going to take the time to show you my music, it's not going to be me sitting in a grass field doing nothing but sing. I'm not going to do that to you. That's such a waste of resources and time. And it's and does that honestly do justice to your artwork, to your song?
Yeah. Even
if somebody else wrote it, you released it under your name, and you want to sit in a field and just, hey, let's go in circles. Why do you do this to your fans, man? Take some creative control of you know what I mean? Do anything. You don't need to recreate the wheel.
Wait though. I just watched a documentary last night. I didn't finish watching it, about this guy who, he's good looking, and I think maybe it was during the pandemic, he started lip syncing to Barry Manilow songs, and all these middle-aged women start following him, and he starts making his living off of all these women.
And you can do it. You can do it. Look, there's a lot of ways. I'm not saying you can't. I see why they do it. I know why it's popular. I'm just saying I look at that. I look at the lip syncing thing like the same way I know I'm not built for OnlyFans. You know what I mean? Like, hey, bro, that just ain't me. That just don't jive with me. You know what I mean? So like,
What about if it was just your feet?
well, then he better be gentle. No.
One music video, and I just had to make sure I got the right person on this, but one music video that I will watch and I will cry every single time is Lee Bryce's "I Drive Your Truck."
Yeah.
And you and I have talked about that before, and the lyrics. You don't even have to watch the video; just listening to the lyrics. Go and check that out. Lee Bryce, "I Drive Your Truck."
Not only that, but did you see the film that they made in Nashville about the creation of that song? Do you know how that song was written?
No.
So that song was written, and I might butcher, the full details here. But I watched I want to say it was called making the music or making the song or something like that. But it was a collaboration with numerous writers from Nashville, like award-winning writers, Mickey Echo from his song with Rihanna, "Stay," and a whole bunch. And it just gets into like how Nashville chews up and spits people out, just like the acting world, right? Like Nashville is like that for musicians and for artists and stuff, and people that are just struggling trying to make their dream alive. And there was a woman who was driving home one night, and she heard a father call into the radio show, and he had said he had lost his son in combat. And she said, hey, like the radio person said, "What do you do?" And he said, "Sometimes I drive his truck." And she said she pulled over and she broke down and immediately started writing the song and getting people together to write the song. And when they wrote it, she reached out to that man that had called in, and they actually met and learned the story of his son and the truck. And so I
interviewed the father,
the
one who called in. Me and my former host, Emily Rooney, A Father's Story. And he tells that story just as it is.
Yeah. Very powerful.
Maybe I'll put a link up to watch that. But yeah, it just kind of like, and it is probably one of, because we saw the truck, we were able to go into the soldier's truck and look at it. And what was interesting is that, when you watch the movie video, a lot of that stuff was the same things that were in his truck. He had like a Red Sox baseball cap or some baseball cap in there. He had his military tags in there. There was waters, kind of like bottles of water, and the father has kept everything in the truck. And I think that that's what the real power of storytelling can be, is just being able to, I don't have any military background. I don't, I haven't lost a son in the military, but to be able to use a story that can touch people from all walks of life. Because, it really is. It's just like, this is how I get close to you. I drive your truck, and so, yeah, that was
a very powerful song, and that's really cool. You got to interview. The thing that I love about music is that any song. So first of all, good music is timeless, right?
Yes.
And obviously that's subjective. I don't know good music. I'm not some critic. Everybody has their own taste and flavors or whatever. But I love that music captures a moment in time. Yes. Because when you hear that song again, it can bring you right back there, and that nostalgia. It's how we connect. I just think it's so powerful. I think music just in general is just so powerful, being able to revisit songs as they were and like appreciate them for as they were. Like, and this is, I'm not going to talk about that. All right. I was going to, because it's just, I think about like back in the day, we don't need to name names, right? But back in the day, Mac Miller dropped a song that was the hottest, right? It was the hottest. Well, then that name turns into something very different. Yes. And it's like, but that song nostalgia is still there, connected to that, but it's a very different future now. Yep. And it's like, Mac's not here no more, and this has all changed, and like the way this world has gone is insane. But that song, even with it, still captures that moment in time perfectly, and that's just something I've always really appreciated about music, is that it can take you right back there.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me as a writer, I've always tried to go back there and write from those places because I have such a vivid memory and a vivid creative mind. And so I always try to, use those details about how it's a form of therapy for me to be able, in some ways, to be able to describe and kind of give homage to certain losses in my life. Love is pain, life
Yes.
is loss.
Yes.
It just is what it is. And, if you don't talk about it, if you don't let that stuff out, it can eat you alive. And so I've tried to do my best to do myself justice, and just whatever I do put out that I'm proud of. That's the only measurement for me. I don't really care if it blows up or not. I'm going to keep making music for as long as I can because I can't stop. I don't know where it comes from. Some songs I just pop it, like I call them lightning bolt songs. I get jingles. I'll get anything. Like my ADHD brain will just like take an idea and it's like, I need to write this down, but being able to write from those places, it kind of gives healing to those places in me, if that makes sense, to be able to go back there and say like, yeah, well, I had this perspective and that sucks, but at least I can put this into this now and I don't need to carry it anymore.
As we start to wind down, and V's probably going to yell at us because we're going over time, but this is such a great conversation. What story do you want to tell that you haven't told yet? Whether it's writing it, singing it, what's that story look like for you?
I wrote a song that has made a lot of people cry, myself included. So I used to cry when it used to be too hard for me to perform. And sometimes if it's the right day, it still is. But I think that's beautiful, to be able to be vulnerable in that moment and to just put out like, I don't care. I'll cry in front of anybody. Like I held so much stuff in for so many years. I don't care anymore. Like I'm the one carrying this meat suit, dude. Like, I'm trying to do the best for me. And when I bottled everything up, it literally almost killed me. Yeah. And so it's not up to me how people interpret my presence. I'm not going to concern myself with that. I'm just going to try to do my best in the moment. And, I thoroughly enjoy being vulnerable because it doesn't feel vulnerable. It feels real, and when you're I think it's so freeing to be like, I just get to show up places and be myself. Yeah. I don't have to think about what's going to come out of my mouth. I don't have to, and I do obviously, but like, I don't have to stress about that stuff. And since I've been performing these last couple of years, I've had some really good opportunities. I was featured on Country 102.5 in Boston. I was featured on 98.7 up in Keene. I got to play Winkfest this past summer up there with them, and that was awesome experiences and stuff. And people usually ask me like, "Oh, are you nervous? Are you ready?" And it's like, well, I'm not nervous, and I am ready because I'm gonna either rise to that moment or I'm not. Right. But I'm not gonna stress about it. Right. One of my favorite quotes to live by right now is, "I've suffered many tragedies in my life, and most of them never happened." Wow. Why would I put myself out there? Why would I do this to myself before I even get out? Like, you don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. They don't know what they're doing. They don't even know who I am. Like, that's like the most freeing thing in the world. Like, yo, I'm about to sing y'all a song and it's an original, so y'all can't tell if I mess it up. Let's go. Like, the three songs are Grief, a song called Here, and a song called Wait. And they all have they're all very, very personal to me, and they're all very much tied to some very difficult losses in my life. But I know that I'm supposed to release them because these songs have already touched people that I have shown them to. So in 2019, real quick, I lost 5 soldiers in that year alone. That was really hard for me. And so from that point on, I knew I had to do something in the military community and just help people. And so one of those things was staying in touch with all my soldiers, making sure they get all their stuff, like they're good to go, And so one of my soldiers came back to Massachusetts. He was from Mass, and I took him under my wing while he was there. I was like, hey, when you get back, let me know. I'll help you out, whatever. He was going through a divorce with his wife and all this stuff. So I was like, look, like I'll help you out. I'll get you into the VA, all this stuff. And so I met with him, and it was really good. And he sent me a picture of his VA award letter for his disabilities finally going through, because like I finally had 4 or 5 months of fighting the VA, and he sent me a picture of the letter. He said, hey man, it's finally coming in, like we did it, and like I can't thank you enough. And I I was like so relieved, like, hey, like I got one.
Mm-hmm.
And he took his life shortly after that. And I couldn't make heads or tails of it, and it shook me. And then on top of that, because and listen, family lives are tough. I'm not throwing judgment, but how certain family members made decisions directly affected me because somebody in his family said nobody from the military is allowed to show up to the services. My bad. So I never got to say goodbye. And that you never want to anyway, but having that opportunity taken just really didn't sit well with me. And before my soldier passed away, my roommate from Hawaii, that weekend right before that, his mom passed away unexpectedly. So this weekend leading up to this, I was helping my old roommate plan a funeral for his mom, because he had no help. It was unexpected and whatever. And then my soldier passed away, and I was a mess. I didn't know what to do. They made that announcement that, no military people at the funeral. That didn't sit well with me at all, but nothing I can do about it. I'm going to respect their wishes. I should have done like the Captain America incognito, like I'm gonna wear the hoodie and the ball cap. They'll never see it coming. Love how every Marvel superhero is like hoodie, ball cap. They'll never notice. Should have done it. But I didn't. And what's really even more unfortunately, is that following Monday, really close family friends of ours, their 10-year-old daughter was hit and killed by a drunk driver. And so in a span of about 6 days, I started spiraling. It was like, it wasn't good, and I knew, and I could feel it, but I didn't acknowledge it, and I wasn't going to acknowledge it. And I said, we made a decision as a family. I was like, well, listen, we can't go to one funeral, so we're going to go to the other one, and while that's never, it's not a good experience, it's not an experience you ever want to give your family or your kids or whatever, but at the same time, it's like, hey, it's real life out here, and I'm a big believer in being very real with my kids, but that also means that I also recognize, appreciate, and balance the fact that it's my job to make sure that they stay kids for as long as possible. And so we as a family made the decision to go down there and supported the family, and I'm so grateful that we went and did that and that we were there for them. They're still great friends of ours. We stay in touch all the time. And when I came back up, they were down in North Carolina. When I came back up, I didn't feel any better. I felt like I just got put through a meat grinder. Like I just felt like a shell of myself. And I took my guitar and went outside watching the kids play in the yard. And it's like it felt like a fall day in the springtime, like that change where it's still kind of cool, but it's like there's leaves and stuff. And I just remember the sun was like so beautiful. And I remember like sitting there like, I'm feeling all this stuff. I have all these emotions. And here I am like watching this beautiful scene in my backyard of my kids playing with neighbor kids on the swing sets and whatever else. And I can't even enjoy this moment right now because I'm not here. And all at once I had a lightning bolt song hit me, and I wrote it. And when I wrote just the music part of it, I started crying. Just the music of it. I could listen, and like I say this to this day, like the song Grief is probably my proudest song I've ever written in my life. When it does come my time, like that instrumental, like just play that, bro. Like just like that's where I want to be. And you know what I mean? Like and when I wrote the lyrics, I had to I was so at this point, and I still kind of struggle. I don't consider myself a real musician. Because I couldn't pick and play at the same time, or pick and sing at the same time. Pick and play, can't do that. I couldn't like strum. I had trouble picking, not strumming, but picking and singing at the same time. And so what I did was I played the whole instrumental all the way through, recorded it on my phone, went into my car, played it back on the Bluetooth, took my phone out again, and sang the lyrics over it so I could have it all because I needed to have some kind of demo.
Yeah.
Like I need to get this out. And when I showed it to like 3 people, and like I remember I showed it to my wife and I sent it to two people, and I gave it to my wife to listen to, and I sent it to two people, and those two people called me immediately, and my wife came back in the room, was like, what is this? Like, this is beautiful. And I was like, I have no idea where that came from. And grief is my description of grief. You know, it was everything about that moment, and everything, you know, those 6 days leading up to that created that song. And it was very hard for me to kind of tap into that vulnerability, I guess. But at the same time, it was so therapeutic to get it out and to really speak about, you know, what are we really saying? You know, when we lose people, like, why aren't we exploring that hurt? What does it mean? Where does it come from? Where are we going to put it? You know? And that song I gave to our friends, and she said she listens to it every day. And to be the owner of a song that's helped one person in the world, I could hang it up right now.
Yeah.
I could hang it up right now. Like, that's worth it to me.
You know, it's everything. One thing I can say about you is that what you see is what you get. You have been so incredibly honest and vulnerable with every part of your life. I think that makes you approachable, you know, and it also makes me feel comfortable to be able to listen to your story because I know it's coming from a real place.
Yeah.
There's nothing else that is, you know, what you've gone through has so much sadness and unbelievable hurt that it's just kind of an honor to be able to be a part of who you are, because I think that what you have to offer creatively is extraordinary.
Thank you. Seriously. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I agree, 100%.
I really just, again, like, just trying to submit myself to the moment, you know. I just always try to be in every moment, and I don't want to be anywhere that I'm not going to be presently myself. You know, if I can't be myself somewhere, I'm not going to be there. I'm done with that part of my life, trying to force myself to fit into the different shapes that people want me to, you know. And I think music is a beautiful place to explore that, because, like, I'm not signed. I don't have a label. I can do whatever I want with my music, and I have 3 albums worth of songs right now that I could release, and I've been trying to, and I've been on my own butt, like, we got to get it out. But at the same time, it's like, hey, take the time for it and let it be what it needs to be. And I'm really grateful because, so I did the country project. I started the country project because when I got home in 2018, I actually was in a metal band with one of my oldest friends, and we had a big blowout. Band imploded, like, but we had a whole album ready to go and whatever, and imploded. I couldn't write music for a year. It took, and that was my outlet. So, like, to not be able to do that, it was crushing. It was, like, horrible. And so I merged from metal music to country music because it was just coming out. I didn't know where it came from. I don't, but, you know, it's like, that kind of sounds like a country song, you know. And my whole mentality has always been like, you know, like, if it's my voice, then why do I care what it sounds like?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if it comes out sounding like, then I'm gonna, you know, I just as a creative. And what's really cool about the song Grief is that we're actually gonna be doing a dual release. So my metal band is back together now. So in Enough of Me, which is our new metal band, and you know, part of Jeremiah Bones is the country project. And I'll be releasing the song Grief both as a metal version and as an acoustic and country version.
Wow.
Oh, cool.
And it's it truly is the proudest song I've ever written. But
Can you sing a little bit of it?
You trying to make me go a cappella right here, bro?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
I should have brought my guitar. I mean, hey, you want to do? I'll do a 3-song release session with you right here. You want me to put all 3 songs out? I'll come back this week. You know, we don't have to do it at the studio we were going to do it at. We can do it down here if you want to. But the two other songs that you know, Here and Wait, have very interesting ties as well, because I wrote the song Here about my soldier. In 2019, he took his life, and he had 4 daughters, and the Army intentionally and toxically put him out unceremoniously, and tied an arm behind his back and threw him in the water. And it never sat well with me. And so 2019, I lose 4 people that year. And by the time summer had rolled around, so in 2019, January, my team leader took his life. February, my roommate took his life. March, Doc took his life. And then in June, Billy got hit and killed on his motorcycle coming home from deployment. And I looked at my wife and I was like, we need to like go, let's go. I don't care. Like, sell the house, refinance the house, sell the car. Like, we're going somewhere. I don't care. Like, and we had said like, hey, let's go back to Hawaii. Cause like we were there for 5.5 years, but while we were there, we're in the military. We didn't really get to explore and like hang out and like be civilians and be off duty, like, let's go back there. Just you and me, 10 days, leave the kids with the grandparents. And that's what we did. And it was a great time. Got to see my soldiers out there and stuff and check in with everybody. And my soldier sent me a picture of a Sam Adams Boston Lager in a Patriots koozie, and he's like, "Hey, am I doing this right?" He knows I'm a diehard Pats fan, And we're out at a club, a jazz club down there in Honolulu with another friend of mine from the Army, me and my wife. And so I saw his message and I got distracted, whatever, and forgot to respond and everything. And so we get back from the trip and I'm like, dang, like I gotta respond to, and I should have responded. Because he took his life shortly after that. And I remember going through and like, I say whenever, that sounds like horrible to say, whenever I lose someone, but I've lost total 19 people from the military alone, 12 of which were suicides. And after losing so many people, it's like the first thing I do, it never fails. I always go back to, how do we leave it? What's the last message I sent you? Like, and going back and like, but then it becomes like almost like it started to become like an investigation. And it's like, bro, you're not going to get answers. Like, you're just not. And that's something I've had to make peace with. And one of the things that I have found solace in this whole process of losing my soldier and speaking to him just before and all these things is that one of the last things I said to him, I was like, man, you got to get to the VA. You got to get your stuff straight, whatever. He's like, no. He's like, they screwed my brother. He deals with the same stuff. It's not worth it. And one of the last things I said to him was like, yeah, that's true, but it doesn't mean you should quit. And so I wrote the song Here because all of those emotions from that experience, the concept behind Here is literally like, yeah, you're gone. And I'm still here. And I was always here. Whether or not.
I mean, we can talk to you for hours and hours, but
yeah, y'all on a time crunch. I'm gonna take all your time. Part 2. All right.
Quadruple threat: writer, director, producer, singer, great husband, great dad. That's more than 4.
Yeah, that's
What's
I don't know, a quintuple.
He's the omni threat.
I'm bad at math.
We're back to Omni.
I call myself a renuisance man, because it's not Renaissance. I'm a nuisance, and I'm gonna get on your ass and get in my way.
I like that.
Dave, thank you so much for just sharing just a little part of your story, and continue to create, because what you're doing is really important. And,
absolutely. Thank you so much. And I do make happy music too, just for the I did release a summer banger this summer. Got a whole line dance to it and everything. And 250 people showed up to the release party at Wachusett Brewing to do it all and did a whole line. It's great. It was awesome. Shout out to Granite State Stomp. They do all kinds of line dancing and stuff. It was great. It was a great time. So Jeremiah Bones and Enough of Me and Grub Buds and all the other stuff I'm doing.
Awesome.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Great seeing you.
Thank you for coming on.
Meeting with you all.
So much.
Anytime you're willing to have me back, I'll make sure I set
the guitar.
Yeah, I'll make sure I bring my guitar, and I'll make sure bail's set at a reasonable amount. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Oh, that was just incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and it's conducive to the storytelling that we talked about, which is so important because, music is nothing but stories. Movies are nothing but stories. And to be able to just capture that the way Dave has, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And he's funny as hell. People.
Yeah.
He's also
Even though he makes me cry.
yeah.
One second. I thought it was like was
How much of that did we lose?
still recording.
All right, yeah,
We're good.
cool.
V, you messed up our clothes again.
Sorry, I
Bryce,
was having a panic attack, guys. I didn't want to lose footage again.
Oh my gosh. Anyways, all right, yeah, I just I don't know what I want to go have a good cry myself.
Yeah.
In my backyard. The sun's gone though.
That's sad.
Yeah. Okay.
Peggy says there is daylight.
It's daylight still left.
So out we go.
All right. And that's the short of it.
The short of it is brought to you by the Den Beauty Lounge. Visit thedenbeautylounge.glossgenius.com for more information and book your appointment today.